Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I'm here with another monthly reading wrap up, this time for the month of May. May was honestly kind of a rough reading month for me this year. I had a lot going on at work and I just kind of ended up in a bit of a reading slump because I just wasn't in the mood to read at all. So I only finished 5 books, which I know for some people is still like a lot, but for me that's kind of low. And they were all good books, but I don't know that I enjoyed them as much as I probably would have. So if my reviews are a little less than enthusiastic, it was mostly a me problem. Just in general, all of these books probably suffered a bit from just me being in not the best headspace while reading them. Starting off the month, I've read Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill. This one is, I believe it was in my spring books video. So like I have a in-depth review from it for it there, but this is a cozy fantasy, I guess would be the way to put it, following this lake monster who has a witch thrown into her lake, and she decides kind of spur of the moment to save the witch, and they end up going on a quest to chase the evil pastor out of their town, which is just such a fun setup. First of all, it's like very Salem witch trials vibes. Like there's this pastor who's kind of turned the whole town against this one woman, but she actually is a witch, and the pastor is also evil, and then they like happen to have this lake monster where they try to drown the witch. So it's very fun. There's also a little, what is he? Is he a goblin? It doesn't say. There's some little like goblin character that is also really fun. This book is kind of like pitched as for fans of T. Kingfisher, and I can see it. I don't know that it quite has her level of humor in it, but I can see the comparison. So if you are a big T. Kingfisher, specifically her fantasies fan, give Green Teeth a try. I did think that was a relatively accurate comparison. It's just a good time. I feel like it's a very heartwarming book with a lot of like just cute things, but they also were going through some really intense challenges. So overall, just a very fun, good time. It was definitely a great spring book. Could still also be a good summer book, but Green Teeth, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if this author has anything else. Actually, let me see. I've got my Goodreads up. Looks like she had another book come out in 2026. Okay, wait. Sorry. Intermission. Let me go see if my Libby has that one, because I did enjoy this author. And I haven't seen anyone talk about this other book before. Oh, of course, my Libby doesn't actually have it. We'll just stick it on and notify me. Love adding to my never-ending list of books that I want to read. But anyways, that was the first book that I finished in May, was Green Teeth. I did have a really good time with it. And then, speaking of T. Kingfisher, the next book that I read was 9 Goblins by T. Kingfisher. This one is... It feels like a new release, but it's really a re-release. She had self-published it originally, and then it just got traditionally published. This one was delightful. It was just what I needed while I was in kind of a slumpy mood. Lots of things were going on. I wanted something that didn't require too much brain power, but still had a really good plot and really good characters. This fit the bill perfectly. We are following these 9 goblins from one of the troops involved in the Goblin War. It's kind of the goblins versus the elves and humans. And then we're also following one of the elves, and he's maybe not your most traditional elf. He's like a vet. And they end up crossing paths in a very interesting way and have to like defeat this evil thing. It's a whole deal. If you're looking for good characters, T. Kingfisher does it so well, especially in her little books. These 9 goblins have just such big personalities. It's crazy how much she's able to develop their personalities in such a short book. But definitely, if you haven't picked up this or Thornhedge, try a T. Kingfisher short story. They're wonderful. That book was actually the first one in a video that is coming up later, so you'll see more thoughts on them down the road, but the next 2 books are also part of that video. So just know there's more thoughts coming on these books if I don't talk about them so in depth. But I did read Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This one is I guess, high fantasy standalone, except it's maybe getting a sequel. I'm a little confused, but you are following a couple of princesses in this one part of the country, and there's like this impending war happening between the two. I mean, it feels like maybe different countries. They feel like they're kind of the same country, but I guess different countries. And so there's this treaty that essentially one of, like, the country that our two princesses are from have to provide a bride to the other country. And it's supposed to be the older sister. When the time comes, the dad ends up sending the younger sister. And so then you're following kind of the experience of these two sisters as they go and get to know this neighboring warring country. They're trying to prevent the war, but they are very uneducated about the country that they've gone to and its customs, and they're kind of really just thrown into the deep end as they kind of go separately. You're following several plot lines. You're also following one of the gods in the country that they get sent to, and then this like assassin character. And I think my biggest complaint with this book is it took so long for all of the different point of views to kind of converge. And I'm okay with lots of point of views, but not for the whole book. I feel like they need to come together and share information because there were so many things that were happening that wouldn't have been a problem if everybody had just been able to share information. So it was really frustrating as a reader when you knew so much and the characters were just so oblivious. But it definitely was a good book. It's just maybe not my favorite type of fantasy. I also am just such a plot-driven reader, and this is much more of a character-driven book. And so I was really having a hard time figuring out what the plot was, where we were going, and that made me lose interest a little bit. Probably part of my slump issues. Not that it's a bad book, it's just maybe not my preferred style of book. I feel like those ones really slow me down. And then the final book for that video was King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is the third duology in the Grishaverse. I believe the final one. I don't know. I'm not that educated in this. I think it's the final one. But this one is following a bunch of characters. I don't know if I can really say who without spoiling things from the original like trilogy and then duology. But there are a lot of carryover characters, so you definitely need to have read Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows before you go into this duology, because you will be lost on a lot of things if you don't have that going in. They reference things without explanation frequently. This one was good. I did really enjoy the characters that we've chosen to follow, and I do really love the Grishaverse. Definitely some of my favorite characters are missing, which is a little sad. Like, it's not always my personal top picks from the other two series that have made it into this duology, but I did have really fun. I do really love the Nikolai character. He's kind of the main-ish character in here. The plot was a little hard to follow. I will say this one got a little into the weeds on some things that I was struggling to follow, some of the stuff that was happening from a magical religious standpoint within the world. I am interested to see where the next book goes, how this all wraps up. I'm hoping we finally get a happy ending for Ravka. I feel like this country just has been through a lot, and I'm really hoping that the second book in this duology gets us a happy ending for their country finally. Definitely need to get to the second book soon before I forget everybody. It's been a very long time. Like, I read Shadow and Bone 2 years ago, so there were some characters that I was struggling to remember who exactly they were. Wouldn't recommend taking that big of gaps, or like go refresh yourself on who the main cast is from Shadow and Bone, because a lot of those characters didn't show up in Six of Crows. So I read Six of Crows last year and then Shadow and Bone 2 years ago. So the Shadow and Bone characters specifically, I was struggling to remember exactly who they were. And then the final book that I read in May, this one was actually an audiobook that I listened to, and this is Princess Floralinda and the 40 Flight Tower by Tamsin Muir. This one was good. I wasn't 100% sure what to expect going into it. I got the recommendation from Carrie Can Read. It's a very wild book. It's very out there. There's a lot of crazy things that happen, but it's basically a play on the whole princess in the tower motif, I guess, trope, whatever you want to call it. But they put a bit of a spin on it because the princess realizes that no one is coming to rescue her and she's got to take some matters into her own hand. I liked it. I liked where it went. I don't know that I'm like obsessed with it. I feel like there were things that could have been done that maybe would have made me more invested and interested in it. The character goes through a very wild character arc, and I'm okay with it, but she is very annoying for a lot of the book. So I'm not sure, like, she has some character growth by the end of the book, but she's very obnoxious to follow. So I'm not sure that I loved our main character that much, but it was a good one if you want just like a 4-hour tiny little audiobook. Try Princess Floralinda and the 40 Flight Tower. Also, can I just say on that one, the narrator's accent that she does for the witch is really good. Favorite part of the book. That is everything that I read in May. I want to quickly go through my June TBR. The books that I want to read in June. I'm hoping that I will get through a lot of books this month because I am on summer break now and have sort of quit my job. It's a little weird when you quit your job at a school because it's summer break, but also you quit. So anyways, I have a lot of time on my hands, hopefully, to get through quite a few books, which is good because I have so many things I want to read. And I think I'm still fighting a slump a little bit. So hopefully I can pick some books that are going to fully get me out of the slump. Starting off with, I have a lot going on with my Libby at the beginning of this month. So I've got quite a few things I need to finish up there. As far as things that I have out right now, I'm currently 74% of the way through The Darwin Affair by Tim Mason. This is a mystery thriller, somewhere along those lines, where we're following this detective in England, and there's an attempt, like an assassination attempt on the Queen, and then this like street thug kid gets killed at the same time, and they start to link all of this to Darwin's On the Origin of Species and uncover this like whole conspiracy behind all of that, and it's very complicated. Again, I'm most of the way through the book. I'm almost done. I'm hoping I will be finished with this one very soon because I only have 3 days left on my hold, but it gets a little wild. I don't know that I've given this book the best shot that I could have, but I am enjoying it. It's good. It's not my favorite, but I will finish it for sure. And then the other audiobook that just came through, so I also need to get listening to this, which is why I need to finish The Darwin Affair, is The Thursday Murder Club. I have seen the movie, but the movie got me intrigued enough that I want to continue the series, but I feel like I need to go read the first book just in case there's changes between the book and the movie so that I'm like caught up on everything that happens in the book. Because I feel like sometimes they cut things or simplify stuff down, especially when it comes to murder mystery like adaptations. And so I want to make sure that there's not like details that from the first book that come to play in later books that I missed because I only watched the movie. So I'm going to listen to the book, get myself caught up, and then continue the series. And then the final thing that I currently have out on hold is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This one kind of made the rounds on the internet. My husband read it. He really loved it. So I need to get to it. He is so pumped for me to read this book. So that's probably the next thing that I'm going to pick up. I'll probably start that one today. But that's my current, like, I have them out on loan. I'm on a timeline books from Libby. I have a few other ones that I would love to get out. I have several holds suspended at this point that have been suspended for a while. The other one that this is like not on my official TBR, but if it comes through, I would love to get to it this month, is Slayers of Old by Jim C. Hines. This is like what if all of the chosen ones have like gotten old and retired, and then they decide they need to come back out of retirement to save the day once again, kind of a premise. I think it's supposed to be funny. I think it would be a really good one, especially while I'm feeling a little slumpy, but we'll see if that one comes through this month, so I'm not officially putting it on my TBR. I am also still reading The Robe. I didn't grab that book. I'm very, very slowly working my way through that one. It is a reread, so I don't know. Wasn't really feeling it a ton this month. I was in the mood for it for like a day, and I started it, and then I kind of got all slumped out, and I didn't want to read that book anymore. So it's just sitting there, and I will get through it maybe this month, and then I can have it off my plate. The last book that I'm hoping to get through Libby is The Last Pharaoh. This is a Theodosia Throckmorton book. It's actually the final book in the series, so I will then be able to finish the series. I've been doing a reread of it. These are kids' books following this girl whose parents run a Egyptian history museum in London, and she can sense magic, and so she takes it upon herself to rid all of the artifacts they're bringing in of their curses before they put them out on exhibit in the museum. And then she gets herself involved in a whole crazy scheme of things. It's really fun. I love Theodosia. I love the whole cast of characters around her. There's just some really fun interactions that she has with the other characters, but would love to finish that series this month. And then I have 3 books off of my physical TBR because I do want to keep working through that. I'm trying to get through my physical TBR. Hopefully, I will read more than this month. But I'm trying to keep it somewhat reasonable and leave myself some room to pick up books if I'm just in the mood for something. First one, and this one I've just kind of been wanting to read for a bit now. It just keeps calling my name. I think when I feel slumpy, I just really like to read kids' books and I really like to read mysteries, and this is both. This is The Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow by Catherine Woodfine. I found this at a thrift store. I know nothing about it, but it just sounds like a classic kids mystery book, and that is exactly what I'm in the mood for right now. So we'll be picking this one up at some point this month, hopefully soon. I'm very in the mood for like a kids mystery book, so we'll probably be reaching for this as soon as I'm caught up on my library books. And then speaking of kids books, I also want to read the 3rd book in Fablehaven. I've been working through reading this series for the first time, and I'm having a great time with it. I want to keep my momentum going, so gonna pick up the 3rd book this month. I need to get the rest of the series. This is the last one that I actually have purchased, so need to get that going, but I'll be caught up at least on the books that I own of the series. And then the final book is another series that I want to continue, and that is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. This author I saw just announced that there's going to be 2 more books in the series, so that's fun. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I liked the first book, so I'm excited to continue the series with the second one, and I love the green. This cover makes me very happy. I really hate the teal of the 3rd book, so I will have to do some digging and see if I can find an edition that isn't like neon teal. I don't know why they picked that color, because the purple is so good, and then the green is so good. Ooh, why did we go with teal? Turquoise, whatever. Not my personal favorite move of theirs, but anyways, that is my June TBR. I'm hoping to read a lot now that I'm into summer and I have all the time in the world. So I'm excited about these books. Let me know what did you read in May? What books are you planning to read in June? I'd love to know. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye.